I woke up in a hospital bed. Supposed to be on my way home from shopping. Why? Where am I? The nurse explained to me what happened. Apparently, I was rear-ended by a car and urgently transported to the hospital. Then my husband, who rushed to the hospital, blurted out, "Why are you still lying on the bed? Let's go home. Get discharged now and make my dinner. If you can't fulfill your wife's duties, I'll divorce you." What? I couldn't believe what I just heard. Who says that to their bandaged up wife? Unbelievable. I lost all my feelings for my husband, who didn't seem to care about me at all. Understood. Then I started preparing to leave my husband. My husband was certain I, a housewife, couldn't possibly divorce him. Little did he know he'd be the one struggling if I brought up divorce. My name is Lisa. I became a housewife after marrying my husband Daniel. It was Daniel's wish that I became a housewife. I never disliked my job, and all my hard work had started paying off, putting me in an important position. There were even talks of a promotion and the next personnel reshuffle. But when I told Daniel about the promotion, he immediately said, "I want you to become a housewife after we get married. We can get by on my salary if we save. I want you to take care of the house." Overwhelmed by Daniel's passion, I quit my job. My coworkers and bosses were disappointed, but it was also important for me to live in the same direction as a couple. As soon as I quit my job, Daniel started to insist, "I'm superior because I'm the breadwinner in this household. You won't be able to live without me. Remember that." Looking back, Daniel probably insisted on me quitting because he was troubled by the prospect of me earning more than him after the promotion that I was supposed to get. Despite this, I devoted myself to supporting Daniel's work and making the house comfortable for him. I took care of the nutritional balance of our meals, researching easy-to-eat menus, while considering Daniel's work schedule. I also made sure to do the cleaning and laundry perfectly, so that Daniel, who came home tired, could spend time comfortably. Yet it seemed like Daniel just couldn't resist complaining about my work. "Hey, tonight's dinner was a bit bland." I explained my reason to my husband, who complained. "You've had a lot of late-night work parties lately, right? I thought your stomach might be tired, so I made it a mild flavor. I should have added a good amount of broth, though." Is that so?" Despite his complaints, Daniel gradually stopped grumbling because I would refute him. Over time, he started to come home later and later. He began to come home every night smelling like women's perfume. "Hey, you seem to have been working late a lot lately. Is work getting busy?" In response to my question, he replied, "Yeah," looking annoyed. "You've also been drinking more often before coming home. How's your health? Are you okay?" Thinking that taking care of my husband's health is also part of a wife's role, I couldn't help but ask various questions. Daniel responded to me in an irritated manner. "Enough already. I have a lot going on at work. What exactly are you doing during the day?" "What do you mean by what? Various housework?" "That's why I'm asking you to be specific." My husband started to ask for a detailed schedule of what I was doing when he wasn't home. "Hey, what are you going to do today?" "I plan to do the laundry and cleaning in the morning and go grocery shopping in the afternoon." "When are you going to be back from shopping?" "I can't say for sure. Maybe around 4 o'clock? "Okay, got it. Don't be later than 4. I'm going to call home to check on you." "Why would you do that?" "To make sure you're not slacking off on your housework." Daniel started to manage my schedule down to the hour. That day, my shopping took longer than expected, and I was rushing home on my bicycle. It was already past 4 o'clock. I need to hurry back home, or Daniel will get mad at me again. In my hurry, I didn't notice the car approaching from behind. The next moment, I felt an impact on my back. Before I knew it, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. Attempting to sit up, I felt pain throughout my body. A nurse, noticing my consciousness, hastily called for a doctor. "Oh, you're awake. You were hit by a car from behind," the doctor explained. According to him, I was rear-ended by a car when I was riding my bike, fainted unconscious from the impact, and an ambulance took me to the hospital. Fortunately, there was no bleeding, I didn't hit my head, and I only got full-body bruises. Though my body was in pain, there were no fractures that could lead to lasting damage, and I was told I could be discharged in a few weeks. Relieved, I checked my phone and saw a slew of missed calls from Daniel. Oh, I need to call Daniel. He must be worried sick. Hearing my muttering, the nurse quickly said, "I've already notified your husband. Unfortunately, he couldn't pick up the call, so I left a message on his voicemail. I might have made him worry, though. Your wife was in a car accident and has been urgently transported to our hospital." That's what the nurse had left in her voicemail. I thanked the nurse and quickly called my husband. "Hey Daniel, it's me."
"Lisa, what the hell are you doing not coming home?"
"Didn't you listen to the voicemail? There was a message saying I'm in the hospital."
"I did listen to the voicemail. You're awake now, right? So you can come home, can't you?"
"That's not possible. I was in a car accident. I'll be staying in the hospital for a few weeks."
"You're being hospitalized? What?"
It seemed Daniel had assumed that my injuries weren't serious. Upon hearing about my hospitalization, he said,
"I'm coming right now,"
and hung up. An hour later, Daniel burst into my room.
"Lisa."
Just as I felt relieved at seeing my husband, his next words left me frozen.
"How long are you going to lie there? Let's go home."
"What? Go home? What on earth are you saying?" I couldn't hide my confusion as I responded to my husband. "I can't go home on the day of the accident."
"Just because it was an accident doesn't mean you're knocking on death's door. You're able to talk like this, so you're fine. Discharge yourself immediately and make my dinner."
"Can't you see these bandages? How do you expect me to cook in this state?"
"You're overreacting with this hospital stay. I bet if I hadn't come to fetch you, you'd just be lazy laying on the bed. Here I am, worn out from work, and you won't even cook dinner. That's unacceptable as a wife."
"Look, the hospital says I need to stay for a few weeks. It's not about being lazy, it's about getting necessary treatment."
"Use any excuse you want, but if you think I'll let you off the hook for housework, you're wrong. If this isn't working for you, I'm okay with getting a divorce."
"That's ridiculous. I can't possibly do housework in this state."
"Well then, divorce it is."
Daniel seemed to care more about having his housework done than the fact I'd been in a car accident. I felt I'm falling out of love with him quickly. Having discovered his true feelings, I made up my mind on the spot. "All right." Hearing this, Daniel smirked, seemingly victorious.
"That's right. You should understand that my word is law."
Seeing me still not trying to move, Daniel started to lose his patience.
"Hey, how long are you going to keep lying around? Start getting ready to leave."
Just as Daniel tried to forcibly get me up, the doctor entered the room.
"What on earth do you think you're doing?" "I was just about to take her home."
Upon hearing Daniel's response, the doctor became livid.
"What nonsense! There's a thorough examination scheduled for tomorrow, so she's not allowed to leave."
Hearing this, Daniel scoffed at me.
"If there's an examination, then I'll wait 2 or 3 days. I'll stay at my parents' house in the meantime, so make sure you're home by then."
As Daniel left the room, I watched him go with a cold gaze. Then I called my lawyer. I didn't have a single shred of affection left for him. "Hello, I would like to proceed with that matter." From the hospital bed, I continued making a few more phone calls, steadily preparing. 3 days later, Daniel called my cell.
"Lisa, why the hell aren't you home yet?"
"Are you back home from your parents' house?" At my next question, he grumbled,
"Yeah, I am." "The examination's over, isn't it? Then stop lounging around and get back to the chores that have piled up."
Daniel didn't even bother to ask me about the medical test results. He doesn't seem to care about his wife's health one bit. My decision was definitely the right one. "Daniel, you've been staying at your parents' place all this time, right?" I asked him calmly.
"I told you already, didn't I? So what?"
Did you happen to check the mail sent to your parents' house?
Mail? What on earth did you send?
Divorce papers. In fact, I had a lawyer send the divorce papers, already signed by me, to Daniel's parents' house.
Divorce papers?
Why are you surprised? You were the one who said let's get a divorce, weren't you? With that, Daniel sighed as if mocking me.
I never thought you were that stupid. Do you think you can live on your own after divorcing me, who provides for you?
I can't start doing house chores right after the accident. I need to take better care of my health. That's why I decided to divorce you.
You think you can make a living after divorcing me? You rushed into this decision.
Daniel laughed out loud and then hung up the phone. But Daniel didn't know what he would face next. The next day, his parents rushed to the hospital in a panic.
Lisa, our son has done a terrible thing.
The moment they entered my hospital room, my in-laws bowed their heads in apology. I calmly addressed them. No, it's not your fault.
You're right. The person who needs to apologize is Daniel himself.
My father-in-law immediately called Daniel.
Daniel, come to the hospital immediately.
He didn't understand what was going on, but hearing his father being so serious, he arrived in my room within minutes.
Dad, what's going on? Why'd you call me here?
Daniel complained, only to be berated by his father on the spot.
Don't be stupid. You caused a mess. Apologize to Lisa right now. What? What are you talking about?
My father-in-law, holding out the envelope I had sent to Daniel's parents, retorted.
This letter, which was delivered to our house.
Hearing this, Daniel began to laugh with an air of confidence.
Oh, the divorce papers. Lisa went and took my threat to divorce seriously and sent me the papers. She wouldn't be able to live without me, yet she's acting so foolishly. The problem is this document here.
My father-in-law took out a bill for consolation money from the envelope. Upon seeing it, Daniel's face turned pale.
What? Consolation money? Lisa was the one who sent me the divorce papers. Why should I be the one to pay consolation money? She abandoned her duties as a wife, checks herself into a hospital, and I'm the one who owes consolation money? Enough with all this.
With suppressed anger, my father-in-law pulled out photographs and a report from the envelope.
These are the evidence of your cheating, and here's the investigator's report. Looking at these, there's no doubt you're in the wrong. I can't believe what you've done.
Seeing the photos and the report, Daniel, pale-faced, asked me,
Lisa, when did you manage to get all this?
That's right. I had started to suspect Daniel's cheating when he began coming home late. Claiming it was for work, he would come home every night with the scent of women's perfume. At first, I thought he was just drinking at places frequented by women. But when I sneakily checked his credit card statement, I found that he was going to trendy restaurants featured in the media, and even buying popular brands of products loved by young women. It was obvious he was spending it on dates with another woman. It was clearly cheating. Perhaps thinking I hadn't noticed, he slowly began increasing the frequency of his affairs. He seemed to be finding opportunities in between his outdoor work hours, even during weekdays. The detailed checks on my daytime activities were also so he could avoid running into me at his meeting locations with another woman. Still, I believed that he would return to me someday. However, Daniel trampled all over these feelings of mine, not showing a shred of concern for me after the accident, treating me like a maid. At that moment, I decided to exact my revenge on him. As soon as Daniel left the hospital room, I contacted my lawyer. I asked him to send the signed divorce papers and the bill for consolation money, which I had prepared in advance, to Daniel's parents' house. Knowing him, he's probably spending time with his mistress instead of going home to his family. My guess was spot on. Unlike my husband, my in-laws are upright people. They'd never approve of their son's cheating. Sure enough, upon receiving my letter, my father-in-law and his wife were quick to rush to my hospital room. Having learned everything, Daniel stated in a daze,
So, Lisa, you knew about my cheating all along?
Yes, of course. I looked at my husband with icy eyes. If you are coming home smelling like women's perfume, lavish your mistress with your credit card, it's so obvious it would be strange if I didn't notice. Plus, all your phone notifications were visible to me, so I knew exactly when and where you were meeting your mistress. Thanks to that, it was easy to gather evidence.
I'm sorry, I was just tempted. I wasn't serious about the divorce. I thought you would come back home right away.
Even if you weren't serious, I am. I don't want to continue a marriage with a husband who doesn't even worry when his wife has an accident and tries to make her do household chores. You were having fun with your mistress while I was hospitalized, weren't you?
Hold on, calm down. You're a housewife, right? You wouldn't be able to make a living if you left me. Don't be stubborn, just let the past be water under the bridge.
Excuse me? There's no way I can just let it slide. And I became a housewife because you wanted me to. If I get divorced, I'll start working right away. I won't rely on you anymore.
Start working right away? How long do you think it's been since you quit your job? Your previous company has definitely found your replacement by now.
Do you think I've just been doing housework for these past years? I've been continuously studying business in my spare time. I've got a few ideas piled up, so I could probably propose several projects now.
It's not that easy. The economy is down everywhere. Even I, who's been working all the while, can't get a promotion easily.
Isn't that because you're incompetent at work? A person who dates their mistress while outdoor work hours? I think the problem is more than just being capable or not.
What? What would you know?
I think I know more than you do. In fact, when I approached my former company, they said they wanted me to come back under the same conditions as before.
The same conditions? You'd be earning more than me.
Yes, indeed. It was all for nothing, even though you were the one who encouraged me to become a housewife and quit my job. If you didn't want to be overtaken by your wife's salary, maybe you should have tried harder instead of pulling me down.
Hold on, if that's the case, you don't need the consolation money, right? Please withdraw your consolation money claim.
Excuse me? There's no way I'm withdrawing it. This consolation money is to make up for the crime you committed. You can't just cheat on your wife and ignore her without facing any penalties.
I'm sorry. I really regret it. Please forgive me.
I will never forgive you. It's not enough to just say you're sorry. You need to show it with your actions. Go to hell. Daniel was unconvinced, but in the end, my in-law stood up for me and he finally agreed to the divorce and the payment of consolation money. After paying the consolation money, Daniel seemed to have continued his relationship with his mistress without learning his lesson. However, it seems his company found out about his frequent dating during outdoor work hours, and he ended up getting demoted and having his salary cut. To top it all off, it seems that Daniel, who had almost run out of savings due to his consolation money payment, was promptly dumped by his girlfriend. News about the cause of his divorce and his demotion spread throughout the company, and I heard that he completely lost his place there. On the other hand, I was able to be discharged from the hospital safely without any after effects from the accident. I used the consolation money I received to move, and now I'm leisurely settling into my new home. My work after returning is going smoothly, and life has been going better since the divorce. That accident may have been a good catalyst for the divorce. I decided not to look back at the past and strive forward to a new life. Living with my mother-in-law has put a crack in my otherwise happy marriage. My husband, without any consolation, suddenly decided that we should all live together, and he knows how difficult I get along with her. I can't forgive him. There's no way I can simply accept things as they want. I'd rather leave this house on my own accord. My name is Sarah, and I am 28 years old. I've been married to my husband, Jake, for almost 3 years. We met at a social event, dated for 2 years, and then got married. We hit it off right away because our hobbies were similar, and everything led to marriage in quick succession. Yet, there's one thing that bothers me. That is, my husband always prioritizes his mother over me. His parents divorced when he was a child, and he was raised in a single-parent household by his mother. To him, who had lived with his mother for a long time, her words are absolute. He believes everything his mother says is correct. Just the other day, right before we were about to go out, my husband blurted out something outrageous.
"Sorry, Sarah, Mom just texted me. I want to go shopping. Come with me."
Wait, what? We were supposed to go buy new dishes today.
Sorry, Mom really insisted.
I don't care about that. We've had this planned for a week now.
But you can choose the dishes on your own, right? Mom can't go shopping without me.
Even so, isn't it odd to prioritize your mom like this?
Sorry again. Can you stop fussing? Just go on your own, Sarah.
With that, he quickly left the house. What the hell was that? We had made plans first, and he just prioritizes his mother on the day? I can't believe this. In the end, I had to go out alone, and my mood was absolutely sour. As I was going around the stores alone, a text from my mother-in-law arrived. It was a photo of a delicious-looking cake and a message saying, "Jake treated me." I couldn't help but shout out loud. My mother-in-law dislikes me, so she intentionally sends me pictures of her and my husband, Jake, looking happy together. On this particular day, multiple texts from my mother-in-law kept popping up on my phone, and it was making me irritable. Jake is an incredible husband, if it wasn't for the mother-in-law issue. But whenever she's involved, he immediately becomes a source of frustration. I have never liked the way my mother-in-law tries to sabotage our relationship at every turn. Looking back, she may have been bullying me since before we got married. When we visited his mother's house to announce our engagement, she looked me up and down. "Sarah, where is that dress from?" Just something I picked up at a department store sale." "I'm sorry, but it looks rather shabby. It doesn't suit my son at all." "Excuse me?" As I was taken aback by her rudeness, she didn't hesitate to continue her onslaught. "Also, your manners are lacking. You didn't say thank you when I served tea to you." I'm sorry. I was so nervous I forgot." Jake didn't stop his mother's sarcastic attack. In fact, he was laughing and saying,
"Mom, you're harsh."
I knew that he, having grown up in a single-parent household, cherished his mother, but I wish he'd defend me a little when I was being tormented right in front of him. In retrospect, I should have reconsidered this marriage then. Such thoughts began to consume my days. Then, one day during my work break, I checked my phone to find several missed calls from Jake. I called him back immediately, and he answered after a few rings. "Jake, is that you?"
"Sarah, something terrible has happened."
"Huh? What happened?"
"Mom collapsed."
"What? Your mom collapsed?"
"Yes, I need you to leave work and come to our house now."
"What? Hold on." Before I could get more details, Jake hung up abruptly. Hold on, why home? If she had collapsed, shouldn't she be at a hospital? Regardless, I headed straight for my mother-in-law's house. Upon arriving, I found my mother-in-law snoring comfortably in the living room. "You're late. Why didn't you come home earlier?" Jake, furrowing his brows, scolded me in a hushed voice. Feeling slightly taken aback, I responded, "There's train schedules, Jake. I can't help it. I heard she collapsed and I came here as soon as I could."
"Huh? Aren't you worried about my mother? She just managed to fall asleep."
"Well, what do you want me to say?" While growing increasingly frustrated with Jake's selfishness, I asked him, "Hey, is it okay to leave your mother at home? Shouldn't we take her to the hospital?"
"She's fine. I put a pain relief patch on her."
"Wait, a pain relief patch?"
"Mom tripped over the doorstep and fell. She hurt her back and couldn't put the pad on herself, so she called me."
"Wait a minute, you said your mom collapsed. So she just fell and hurt her back? That's it?"
"What's with that tone?"
Jake yelled at me, his face red with anger.
"You're making it sound like my mom is exaggerating."
"Well, it's just a minor fall, isn't it? When you say someone collapsed, normally you'd think it's something serious."
That's just you jumping to conclusions. Don't pin that on me.
Ugh, this isn't something I should have had to leave work early for.
You, how could you say that? Look at her, she can't even get up right now.
I don't care. There's nothing I can do here. Did you really need to call me? I had to make up an excuse to leave work early during our busiest season, and you made it sound like it was an emergency. As I let out my anger, Jake sighed, looking annoyed.
You know, Sarah, you don't seem to care about my mom at all, do you? Every time I bring her up, you get this sour look on your face. It is really rude as a wife.
Huh? What? Are you trying to blame me now?
No, that's not it. A normal wife should care for her husband's mother, right? I can't sense even a shred of that intention from you, Sarah.
Oh, give me a break. I've told you over and over. Your mother has disliked me since the day we got married. She's always picking on me. How am I supposed to want to take care of her?
What's that supposed to mean?
She purposefully contacted you on the day of our plans. It's so obvious that it's deliberate.
My mom is tough on you, Sarah, because you haven't been accepted by her as a worthy daughter-in-law.
What? Is he for real? How can he think like that? Doesn't he see his mother's actions for what they are? Despite further arguing, we got nowhere. Before long, my mother-in-law woke up and began complaining to me. Sarah, it's so heartless of you not to worry when I've fallen. No, I rushed over here because I was worried, but you look perfectly fine. Excuse me? How could you say that? I fell and hurt my back. But you just fell, right? Saying you collapsed is a bit misleading. Oh, stop complaining. This is why I can't stand snarky women. I should have never approved of you marrying Jake. Hearing my mother-in-law's words, I felt more anger than sadness. I wanted to leave as quickly as possible and swiftly exited my in-laws' house. Checking my phone later, I saw a text from Jake.
I'm worried about Mom, so I'm going to stay here for a while.
Rather than caring about me, he's still fussing over his mother at a time like this. I was utterly disgusted with him. I didn't reply to the text and just went to sleep. For some time after that, he didn't come home. 1 week later, just when I was enjoying some alone time, I got a call from Jake. Could it be an apology call? I hadn't contacted him at all, and Jake might have finally realized his mistakes. With such thoughts, I answered the phone, and an unexpected response came from Jake.
Hey, is that you, Sarah?
It's been a while. What's up?
Well, I've been talking to Mom and thought I should fill you in.
Huh? Talked about what?
Mom is going to live with us at our place.
What? Caught off guard, my mind went blank. Trying to control my shock, I managed to muster some words. Wait a minute, living together? You mean cohabitation?
Yeah, she had that fall, right? We'd be worried if something else happened, wouldn't we? So we thought we might as well live together.
Hold on, you're kidding, right? There's no way I can live with her.
Huh? What do you mean you can't? Don't you care about Mom?
It's not like that. How many times do I have to tell you? I know I'll get harassed if I live with your mom, Jake. You understand, don't you?
Are you going on about that again? Anyway, it's already decided. I've sent the stuff over there and it'll be there by tomorrow, so can you receive it?
What? Wait, that's not...
Well, take care.
With that, Jake hung up abruptly. My frustration towards Jake exploded. He sent this stuff? This can't be a joke. Why am I, his wife, being left out of this conversation? There's no way I'm agreeing to live with her. I'll leave this house. With that resolution, I immediately began to pack up my things around the house. All to escape from the selfishness of Jake and my mother-in-law. I couldn't think of any other way at this point. The next day, the intercom rang, and a massive amount of my mother-in-law's stuff was delivered. As if waiting for the right timing, a call from Jake came in.
Hello, is that you, Sarah?
What? I'm kinda busy right now.
Are you still mad about yesterday?
I'm not mad, or rather, I don't care anymore.
Good, that's a relief then.
While I was trying to suppress my irritation towards my careless husband, he continued.
By the way, did Mom's stuff that I sent yesterday already arrive?
It arrived, and I just finished sending my stuff to my parents' house.
Huh? Your parents' house?
In response to his confusion, I explained briefly. I'm going back to my parents. If you want to live with your mom, go ahead and do it yourself.
Hey, you're joking, right? What kind of nonsense are you talking about?
Nonsense? I'm serious, you know. To begin with, it's unacceptable to decide on cohabitation without any discussion.
Just because of that, why are you going back to your parents' house? If you're gone, Sarah, who will take care of the house?
Huh? You're not children. You can do it yourselves, right?
Stop it with your nonsense. You're always speaking out of turn. Mom is angry too, you know.
Let her be angry if she wants. I don't think my judgment is wrong. My assertive remarks seemed to have incensed my husband. He yelled louder than I had ever heard him.
Don't mess around! You're a wife, you know. Just shut up and do as you're told, you idiot.
Idiot? Are you talking to me?
Who else would I be talking to? Well, whatever. Go back to your parents' house until you can think clearly.
Huh?
When you're ready to apologize sincerely to me and Mom, come back here. If you apologize honestly, both I and Mom will forgive you. See ya.
With that, he hung up the phone right away. He doesn't think he did anything wrong at all. On the contrary, he still thinks that his mom and himself are the most important. Tired of such a husband, I returned to my parents' house with my suitcase. A few hours later, the phone rang again from my husband. What? I'm busy right now.
What the hell is this?
From his tone of voice, I could tell he was pretty shaken. Suppressing my smugness, I asked my husband, What do you mean? Did something happen?
When I got home, there's nothing left. Your stuff.
I figured as much.
You figured? Weren't you just going back to your parents for a few days?
Do you really think that was it? Sorry, but I have no plans to return to that house.
What? Don't mess with me. What am I supposed to tell Mom? I told her you would take care of everything.
Not my problem. Why don't you tell your mother the truth? I screwed up, made my wife angry, and she left me.
How could I say such a thing? At least come back right now. Don't act on your own.
Don't act on my own. You were the one who brought up the idea of your mom living together with us without your wife's permission. Don't start shifting the blame now. Over the phone, Jake was lost for words as I screamed at him. Jake, who always looked down on me and made fun of me with his mother. I can't forgive him anymore. I will settle all the grudges I've held so far. Jake, what do you think I am? I'm not a servant for you and your mother, nor am I a toy. Don't think everything you do is permissible.
Hey, Sarah, calm down.
Shut up. You've never really listened to me before. It's too much to expect me to just go along with what you say. From now on, I have no intention of taking care of you or your mother. I'd rather be single than do that.
Don't say things like that. I don't intend to get a divorce.
I couldn't care less what you think. I'm sick and tired of being pushed around by you too. You guys can just figure things out on your own. I'm done. Never interfere with my life again. You and your mother can go to hell together, you foolish duo.
Wait, Sarah.
Ignoring Jake calling my name, I hung up the phone in a fit of anger. I headed straight to the lawyer's office to request our divorce. Although it took some time, the divorce was successfully granted. After I left, it seems Jake reluctantly began a life with his mother alone. However, without someone to do the housework, they started bickering, causing a rift in their once close relationship. As for me, after the divorce, I decided to move out of my family home. I rented an apartment near my work and started putting even more effort into my job. As a result, I was offered a promotion and my salary increased accordingly. I now find fulfillment in my work. I'm truly glad I severed ties with that mother and son duo early. From now on, I want to live my own life for myself.